In this tutorial, we will implement the animated custom health device. If you want more videos like this, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And if you want to access the code or the assets of this tutorial or are looking for help, you can check our Patreon in the description. Let's continue with the tutorial. Hi, today we'll make a device to show a custom health bar. This will also be an animated health bar, so this will be different from the previous tutorial we have made, because that was just that had no animation in it. And we also made this specifically as a boss health bar, because the health bar stays visible until you eliminate the target, but with further customizations you can use this for non-boss enemies as well. So usually with a slider bar you have a foreground and a background, and that's it. And actually that was what we did in the previous tutorial. But for this one we will have another element to it, which is a midground. So when we animate the health bar, so when the boss takes hit, the foreground element will deplete first, and then the midground will follow it later. So we will also have parameters to control these speeds. So let's start with the meaty stuff first and write our function to create a custom bar. So with our create bar function, we have many parameters, actually most of them just for the textures, and we have 2 parameters for the text and 2 parameters for the sizes. This allows some form of customization for the bar, and inside the bar we just fill it with our widgets. And the order is important here because we want the because the order you put the widgets in, it determines the order of the rendering. So we want the background at the most back, and we want the border on the most front, actually the texture on the most front, the text on the most front, so the text at the bottom. But usually we would like use this function and then put this canvas directly onto the UI. But we are going to do something different today. We are going to create this canvas, and then we will use this as a sub canvas in another canvas, and then we will actually put that other canvas onto the UI. This allows us to not care about the actual screen positionings when we are creating the bar, but only the relative positionings. So if you look at the anchors and offsets here, you would think that this bar would show on the top left of the screen, but it won't, because we will use this as a sub canvas, and this means this anchors and offsets will be only relative to these widgets themselves. And when I position this sub canvas in the other canvas, then it will actually be positioned on the screen. So let's create the other canvas then. Okay, so this function was simpler than the other one. We just use the create bar function's widget result as a widget, since a canvas is a widget as well. So you can see that I set all the parameters that we need, and of course you can change these however you like. And I do the actual screen positioning of the widget here. So I put it on the middle top center. So I put the top center with the anchors, and then I give a little bit offsets on the top, so it will, move a little bit to below. So now we need to define some variables to get things going on, because for now we just created UI, but we actually want to animate it and use it. So we need to first define those variables. So for the editable devices, we'll use the events of those, and on the map we save the canvas for each agent, because we need to keep a record of it, because we'll keep updating it. And also these we have here multiple values and the logic value to allow us. These will allow us to keep the required state so that we can animate the health bar, basically. So now we need to set up a couple of events to manage what's going on. So I wrote a couple of event functions here. First we have onPlayer spawned. In here, if player have spawned the first time, then I create the canvas and then I add it onto the UI and I also store it on the map. Okay, straightforward. Then we have on boss spawned, which I use with the boss spawner, which is a creature spawner device, but I use the creature spawner only for simplicity for this tutorial. We could actually use an NPC spawner device too. It has all the same events, so the same code will just work. So only when the boss spawns, I initialize the variables that I'm using to manage the animation of the health bar, and then I also subscribe to the damaged function, and then I also spawn this async function, which I didn't write yet. I'll write it in a second. It will be a relatively long function that will handle the animation. And when the boss is damaged, we just update our state. Basically, this is what we do. This helps us. This allows us to correctly animate health bar. Okay, so now only thing left is to actually write the async function and animate the health bar. Let's get down to it. Okay, now I'll go step by step here. First, we initialize the sizes of the foreground and the midground for each player, and then we set the canvases as visible. Then we set these variables which basically control and manage the animation speed, so you can actually tweak with these numbers if you want, but that could substantially change the behavior of the animation. So this is just a little wait seconds that we wait after the boss is dead, and we just wait 3 seconds before we collapse the UI. So these are again, these won't change. These are just for math calculations. Only thing that you want to change, if you want to change the behavior of the animation, is these variables here. Again, these are to keep the state of the animation. Then we have here, if we need to update it for each player, we first update the size of the foreground, then we update the size of the midground, and then we break if the I actually forgot the break condition. Let me write that. You want that if the target fill rate is now equal to 0 and there is no other updates, then we want to break here. So then we just wait a little bit, then we close the UI for each players. So okay, that's actually all of the code. So now I'll set up a simple scene to test this twice. Let me tell you again, I've used a creature spawner device, but you can actually use an NPC spawner device too. You won't need to change any other code, because a creature spawner and the NPC spawner uses the same spawned event. So all you need is just change this creature to NPC, and that's all. Okay, now let's set up the scene. Okay, it turns out that since my editor is acting weird, it didn't show the error to me, so I forgot a semicolon here. So let me compile it and let me look if there is any other mistake. Okay, we have a couple more, then I need to fix those. It's just basic typo errors. This happened to me once more in the past. So where is it? It seems like this is another typo. I typed, yeah. So this needs to be agent. So this says an error, but this should not be error actually. So weird. Okay. So let me build again. You can't see it, but under the window capture, I'm building the code again and then looking at the arrow line. Okay. So it gave an error to me here. It should actually work. Let me take a look again. Okay, so this is our create you. No, it's not. Okay, this is all good. Okay, let me try to fix this and then return back to you. Konuşuyorum. 3, 2, 1. Okay, it turns out that I have made this function transact and to use it as a, inside a clause. I mistakenly thought that I needed it to use it to create a widget like this, but it turns out that creates the error here. So you can see it's right now because I also restarted my editor. So if I delete that, it seems, yeah, and then I compile, and yeah, it's all good. Stuff like this happens all the time. Not every video can be perfect, so let's continue with setting up the scene. Good. Okay guys, a little quick change before going into the scene. Since my border image has a little bit different size, I need to put some offset here on the top and on the left, and also I want to increase its size a little bit. You might need to do similar stuff if you are using different textures, so you might need to adjust the sizes and positions a bit. But if you are using the textures that I'm using in this video, which you can access through our Patreon shop, then you can just use this code exactly and everything will align properly. So let's continue with the scene. Okay guys, I caught two little mistakes again, so we need to fix these indexes, and then I realized that I also put the midground in front of the foreground, which is wrong. So I need to do this. You just switch those places, and yep, that's done. Okay, before setting up the scene, for verse to access the textures, you need to create a textures directory, textures folder under the content folder, and then you need to put the textures here. Any textures you have in this folder will be visible to the verse code, and that's how we reference the images as well. So these are the images that we use. So let's set up the scene. Okay, so let me get my weapons from here first, and when I'll, you can see that health bar already with the text on it. If I get close, it's here. So when I shoot it, you can see the foreground moving first, then you can see the mustard colored midground following it afterwards. Yep. So I'm going to kill this first, then, oops. I want to show you the fully depleted version. Yep, so it's gone, and after some time of delay, the health bar is gone too. And if I come here again, another one will be spawned, and again we have the health bar. Okay, so basically you can use this device in any map that has a creature but it's especially a must-have if your map has a boss or something similar. And that was all. To access the code or the assets, the UI textures of this video, you can check our Patreon. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and share if you have enjoyed, and also leave a comment on what tutorial you would want to see next. See you later.